If you want to see me use the MAC Shiny Pretty Things Eye Party in Rose for the first time, then stick around. All right, let's get this out of the way. If you like the content of this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content on this channel and you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? I am so excited. I am using this MAC holiday palette for the first time. This is the Roses edition, and there's also a smoky version that has a blue cover, and there's also a face palette as well that kind of goes with this whole collection. I am so pleased. I did do swatches of this palette. If you are curious to see those, I will put them right in the cards. And I will get rid of, I mentioned when I did the swatches that there was this sticker on the back, and I think it's ugly, so I'm going to get rid of it. That is so satisfying. So now the back is nice and smooth, there isn't this thing, and I do keep the box because unfortunately with this packaging, as you can see, there's no information on here. So if you don't keep the box, you don't get to see the ingredients and all that good stuff. So I did keep the box. I don't keep the box for all of my palettes, but this one it just made sense. That said, as I mentioned during the swatches, I really like this packaging. I think it's really cool. It's a cloth type, but not messy, kind of like the Anastasia. And this is fabric, but somehow I think it's going to be a bit more resilient to eyeshadow than the kind of the velveteen palette. Well, that's a tangent, so let me just move on. There's a clear plastic that separates the shadows, actually two clear plastics that separate the shadows from the mirror. And I did talk about some of this in the swatches, but I will not assume that you saw the video, although you do have the link now. There is a mirror that spans the length of the palette, and itself, the palette has 9 shades. And if you go back to see the swatches, you'll be able to see that this shade is absolutely not a Christmas red. It's more like a fiery orangey red. So that was a bit of a surprise. And if I take a look at the palette, 1, 2, looks like there are 3 mattes. It's been a while, I don't remember. Yeah, that's not a matte, that's a shimmer. So 1, 2, 3 mattes looks like, and really out of everything, there are only really 3 colorful shadows, right? There's the pink, there's the reddish orange, and then there's the purple. And when I look at it, I'm drawn automatically, probably because of my green eyes, I'm drawn automatically to the plum purple colors. But I don't think that that's going to be a challenge for me. So I think I'm going to go with the browns and the red, that orangey red. I think I'll be able to do an interesting look with that. And so that's what I'm going to do. We are going to go right into it. Now, I have my face makeup on. I used my usual face makeup. You can see all of the products that I use in the description box below. And I do have my eyeshadow primer on already. It is set with the Smashbox buff right here. If you're curious to see, this is the palette that I'm panning. I will put the link to the Pan That Palette video, the latest update, if you're curious how I'm doing with this palette. I will be using this brush. I'm very intrigued by the brush. It's thin on one side, thick on the other. It has I would say a precision tip on one side, and then a slightly fluffier, not by much, on the other side. And I think, why not? Why would I not use this brush? Now, to use the first transition shade, I won't use this brush because it would take me forever. But I do intend to use this brush for as much of the look as possible, because I think that we have a tendency to take the brush and discard it. But I would rather take a look at how it does and see if I care for it or not. But without giving it a shot, I won't know. So I don't know if it's scratchy, if it's smooth. I might regret this, but I guess we're gonna find out. Now I'm looking at the shades here, and I think I'm going to go straight in with a couple of mattes, these two, to just kind of set the base, just to make sure that I've got some decent colors to start with, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to use a nice fluffy brush to just kind of get the base going, and I'm going to use this color to begin with right here. It just looks like a good color to go with. And with these videos, I'm getting a lot better at using the mirror in the palette, and it's a new skill for me because I've always used my mirror in my beauty room, but I am learning. I can be taught. I can be taught. Oh, this goes on really, really easily. Really easily. That's awesome. I like it. Okay, very creamy. I was not disappointed with the swatches. And I'm not disappointed with how it applies on the eye either. Nice. And on my eyes, the only thing I talked about the primer in the setting. I also have the Marc Jacobs Blacker in the upper waterline, just because I wasn't using mascara and I wanted to have a little color. So if you're wondering if I have more on, I do. All right, so here we go. Just using a tiny bit more. I like this so far. It's only my first color, but it's very flattering, I think. Okay, so whoop. Almost dropped it. All right, so I think I'm done with this. I'm going to go with a smaller brush for the brow bone. I'm gonna go straight into that MAC brush. Oh, and it's called 542 SES. It's even got a name. It's hard to see, I'm sure, on camera, but it has a name on it. All right, so I'm going to use this brush and I'm going to go into should show you, into the lightest shade here, right onto my brow bone. These shadows are very creamy. Like I've said when I did the swatches, this is my first MAC eyeshadow product. And so far, it's a little bit shimmery. But so far, I just like the texture of the shadows. It's really nice. And I'm going to go on my inner lid, just because. I don't even know what I'm going to do with my inner lid, but I just feel like that's what I should be doing. So let's do that. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. You just have to go with it. Now I said I wanted to use the deep red, orangey red. And I'm trying to figure out what other color to use with it. I'm just going to do a quick check on two colors. Oh yeah, it's got to be this one. Okay. I'm going to go with this on the inner lid, this on the outer lid, and I'm going to use this as a highlighter on the center lid. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, let's give this a shot. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to use the lighter colors first, or the lighter color that I'm going to use on the inner lid first, just because I think that the red is going to be a bit problematic. So I'd rather use a lighter shade so I don't have so much trouble wiping my brush. I didn't really use a whole lot in my crease, but we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so far so good. Let's do the other side. I'm using so few shades. Usually I do one eye and finish it with the other, but I think this is going to be okay. It's going to be a pretty easy, quick look, I think. At least that's what she said, and she'll be wrong, right? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so this is very quick. I almost feel like I should be timing this. Okay, here's what it looks like so far. I'm going to put just a little bit closer to the lash line. I might end up using my finger here because they are very shiny shadows. Okay, I think this looks okay. Let's go with it. So I'm just going to wipe my brush in a very scientific method, which is right on my wrist. I'm not fancy, I'm practical. All right, we are going to go into the red. I showed it before, but I'll show it again. It's very orangey red despite what you see in the pen. The pen lies, at least in this eyeshadow palette. Let's go right into it. I think you'll see the orangey red show up as I'm applying it. It's not giving me the color payoff I'm looking for. The swatches were a lot more vibrant. I think I'm going to go in with my finger here. Oh yeah, so much better. So much better. I even was wondering if I should wet my brush, but this is working okay. That's a lot better. A lot more color on here. That tells me I should take the measures to do that with the other color as well. So I'll do that right now. I think I'm going to use my pinky. No, that's not the right color, Hélène. This is the right color. Again, because I have to cover up my mistake here. Okay, I think that looks all right. Yeah, I'm going to use the other color as well on this side. Yeah, when there are shimmery shadows like that, I find that either a wet brush, which is not my preference, or a finger is a necessity, just to get it the way we want. I got a little transfer on the nose and on the bottom here. I'm just going to wipe that off with a brush and with a Q-tip, and I'm going to finish up with the red on the other eye, which I will speed through so that we can get to the center lid. Okay, I have the red done. I think I'm going to just smooth out the lines a little bit and then get into the center lid color. And in order to do that, I'm going to use that fluffy brush again, and I'm going to go into that neutral brown color right here and just get rid of those harsh edges. Oh yeah, that does the job very nicely. Do it on the other side. I almost dipped my brush into the wrong color. I seem to be doing that with this palette. I'm not sure why. I don't usually do that. And a little bit more, I think, right here. Okay. Okay, I think that's looking all right. It didn't take very much to smooth that out, which is fantastic. I mean, that's good. I would say this is a beginner-friendly palette. Now, the only thing that I want to do before I go to the center lid is I think I want to get some of that red on the lower lash line as well. And for that purpose, I'm going to use the Sephora smudge brush. Looks like this, just so I can easily get it to the lower lash line. So let's do that. Yeah, that looks better. It looks more put together. There is some fallout with this palette, but so far, the fallout that I've had, I've been able to sweep away really quick. Yeah, I like that. I don't think it gives me too much raccoon eyes. I just think it just kind of, the look is just more cohesive, I think. Okay, now we want to take care of the center lid. And for that, I talked about using the brighter of the colors. I was going to use this on the inner lid first, and then I decided this was a better color to go with the red, And now I'm going to do this center lid, almost like to give it a bit of a spotlight. And for that, I'm only going to use my finger. I think that that will be the better thing to do. They are very smooth colors. They feel really good to the touch. There's not, yeah, there's some, but there's not that much difference between those two browns. I was expecting a bit more difference. If you're wondering what happened to my finger, this one, glad I'm not flipping you the bird. I lost an argument with a butter knife. That's what happened at a fondue party on New Year's Eve. I was using the butter knife to help press the food onto the fondue fork, and it slipped, and I got a really nice, it hurts, it's deep, and I don't cut myself very often, and a butter knife, it was a surprisingly sharp butter knife. And the funny thing is once I got the Band-Aid from the hostess, I kept doing the same thing of pushing my meat or vegetables onto the fondue fork with my butter knife. I apparently can't learn. I don't know. Okay, I think this is what it's starting to look like. I think that I am happy with that, so I'm going to call that done. It's a very simple but nice look, very shiny, and I think I'm going to do a Marc Jacobs Cocoa, or Row, I think the actual name is, the gel liner. I'm going to use that on my lower lashes. I'm going to put mascara on and a lip, and we will take a look at the final look. Okay, here we go. Here is the final look. I ended up using the Hi-Fi Shine Gloss by Urban Decay in Naked, and I feel like the color goes really well with the look. I may have been a little overzealous, but I like it. As I mentioned, I used the Marc Jacobs pencil in Row, which is it's a very nice metallic-y bronze pencil. I thought it would go really well with the look. And I also used the Stila Huge Extreme Lash Mascara, which is a very, very new addition to my in-use makeup. I have been saving this since my birthday back in September and decided to start using it at Christmas. So this is going to roll into my Mascara Madness project. It's a project where I keep track of my mascaras and make sure that I'm rolling through them as well and efficiently as possible. I'm really happy with this look. I think it turned out really well. This palette is really user-friendly because if anything, I used shades that would be more challenging, not the beiges and light browns. These three were pretty easy. This one as well, I used that on my inner lid. This one outer lid, this one center lid, brow bone. Just really not bad at all. I think that if I do, I shouldn't say if, when I do another look, I'm probably going to focus on this pink, this purple, and the dark brown and really dark brown shimmer and then really dark brown just to darken up the outer V. I wouldn't say that there are a ton of looks to do with this palette. Maybe the pink and the red I could get away with, and pink and the red, and then maybe doing the pink with the other beige shades to kind of do a really light look, almost like it makes me think maybe of Dolly's Wild Side. I might be able to do something similar to that. Let me go get Dolly's Wild Side from Buxom just so we can do a little comparison. I might be totally off here. Let's take a look. Oh, apparently last time I used this, I dug my nail into it. Please ignore this last shade here because that is not part of this palette. These are the shades I'm thinking of. And I think that maybe this Rose's Party Eyes might have a little bit in common here. The pink color, yeah, this pink color, I'm looking at it here. Okay, this is a bit more purple than this, but the beigey browns don't look that different. These are a little bit deeper, but this is a lot lighter, or it can be light enough to modify them. I think that, yeah, these 5 are not that different from the Dolly's Wild Side. So I may be able to do a similar color to the Dolly's Wild Side. And actually, when I look at it even more, this pink and this purple, it looks like I could achieve a similar color to this. But I guess I will have to see if that's the case. But I do see some similarities between the 2 palettes. I'm not really disappointed by these colors. I think that they are, in order to try MAC shadows, if you haven't yet, and you want some approachable colors, this Party, what's it called again? Party Rose palette is not bad at all. I mean, the red, which would have been somewhat scary looking, is very subtle on the eye. It's nothing too crazy. If anything, I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking I want to deepen that up a little bit. Maybe I'll do that right now. The mascara is not stiff, by the way. That's really cool. Seems to have some sort of a flexible hold to it. Okay, so I added a little bit of red. It didn't seem to do all that much, but anyway, I don't mind this look at all. I think it's flattering. I think it would be, I would not be averse to going out with this eye look for a dinner or something. I think it looks fine. And I wanted to make sure to do a look with this palette because I know it's a holiday palette and I don't know how much longer it's going to be around. I think it's $37 Canadian regular price. And again, there is the blue cover that is a smoky, and there's also a face palette. I think it's nice. If you haven't tried MAC Shadows and you want to try it, to try the brand, I think these colors would appeal to a wide range of people. The red is punchy enough that it could attract people who like color. There are enough neutrals that if somebody really wants a soft neutral look, it would do well. I don't mind it. I think it's fine. If I have anything to report back after wearing it for the rest of the day, this is mid-afternoon, so I'll wear it till the end of the evening. If I have any concerns, I will definitely do a follow-up, but for now, I would say that these are nice shadows. I was very impressed, very happy with how buttery they were. They were not dry at all. They felt very nice and smooth. They applied really well. I mean, it was a very quick look. I like this palette. I think for a no fuss, easy, no-brainer kind of a look that I would think of this palette to do that. Those are my initial thoughts on this, my first MAC palette. If you have any questions or comments about the palette or your experience with MAC shadows, please leave them down below. I would love to hear your questions or thoughts. And I will say that for now, I thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you watching the video. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.